Call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please proceed with roll call, beginning with our esteemed mayor.
Mayor Atkins.
Present.
President Monroe.
Present.
Vice President Francis.
Present.
Councilor Johnson.
Present.
Councilor Cade.
I'm here.
Councilor McCabe. Present. Councilor Jones Waters.
Present.
Councilor Roquel.
Present.
Solicitor Gibbs.
Present.
Julianne James, our tax collector, emailed earlier that she had to be at a meeting for tax collectors tonight. Mr. Cipolla from NDOT.
Here.
And then Mr. Nichols, our finance director.
Present.
Everybody's being announced.
Thank you. Seeing no form for citizens forum, we'll move on from their agenda item and on to the approval of minutes. For consideration are the minutes for December 30th, 2019, legislative meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question?
I'd like to abstain.
I'm the vice counsel.
I abstain as well. So all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The motion carries with 2 abstentions. And for consideration, the January 6, 2020 reorganization meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries. We'll now move on to our mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. The first order of business is we're going to swear in two new officials of the Yeadon Fire Department, Daniel Haggerty as the fire chief and Luigi Lazzaro, is that correct? As the fire department president. So they have their families here, and I asked the Borough Council if we'd support them, and we'll ask each to come forward one by one. You can have a friend or relative hold the Bible for you, and I will swear you in, starting with the Fire Chief, Daniel Haggerty. I'll ask you to place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Daniel Haggerty,
I, Daniel Haggerty,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and uphold
I will support and uphold
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I will obey and uphold
I will obey and uphold
the ordinances of Yeadon Borough,
the ordinances of Yeadon Borough,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. There's a new fire chief. Take a picture.
He's picky.
Then we have our fire department president. I, Luigi Lazaro,
I, Luigi Rivera,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will defend and obey
that I will defend and obey
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
and I will support and uphold
I will support and uphold
the ordinances of Yeadon Borough,
the ordinance of Yeadon Borough,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. I just have a couple of things to report. First, congratulations to the new fire chief and to the new fire president. And you have our full support. Thanks for everybody coming out to join them in the solemn occasion. Godspeed to you, and I know you'll continue to do a great job.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we have to leave. We have our own meeting downstairs.
Okay, you can be dismissed.
Thank you, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks. I have a printed copy of the report on the foyer there, but I'll go over a couple of them. Next Mayor Citizens Forum will be held on Thursday, March 5th at 7 p.m. here at Yeadon Borough. We have a Yeadon police officer that just retired. He's a Yeadonite, Rodney Irby, retired at the end of last year on December 31st. And we'll be honoring him at the next Mayor's Forum on March 5th. The chief will talk about this more. We have an outstanding ticket program, amnesty program. In my report, I said it's over $50,000. Well, I was wrong with that number. It's over $230,000 in outstanding tickets that we have. So there's a program underway to recoup those outstanding tickets, and the chief will talk more about that in his report. We've had a lot of questions about traffic control due to speeding and things becoming impassable on Church Lane, and especially around Bailey Road, and as you go over the bridge. It's been a big problem. I won't say more except that we're looking at it. We understand it is a problem, and it's caused speeding on the side roads. So people have realized that you could kind of like navigate quicker on the side roads parallel to Church Lane, and that's created problems in secondary streets. So we're taking a look at that, and we already did institute some added some traffic light on Long Acre towards Whitby, going into the city to help control speeding. So we are strategically and slowly addressing those issues as we can. The road construction on Island Road around 70th Street and West Comp Street is now completed. There was a walkway that was added, and thankfully that's completed now. The Deer and Animal Control, this is the second season that the chief has a program to alleviate, decrease the population of our deer, which was overrunning the borough and creating a hazard. There have been a lot of car crashes and eating of flower beds, and they ravished kind of like deforestation of behind St. Louis there. It's like completely gone because of the deer. So And they do breed Lyme disease and ticks there. So we're, how many do we get this year, Chief?
The season still goes for another couple of weeks, but we're about 25, 26.
25, 26, and last year we had, what, 42?
42.
Yeah. So we're making headway. And we're still undergoing the lights in the borough, outside the borough, so that it could be, have better lighting outside, and comprehensive camera program throughout the borough business district so that we could interdict graffiti artists and dumpers and litterers, so that we can, it'll help to keep Yeadon safe and clean. So you'll hear more about that, and Nafis will continue to keep us updated, and I'm going to have it in my report every month, so that we're held responsible. So it's not going away. We've promised the residents. It's been 6 years, and we can't keep promising and not delivering. Money's not an issue. We've got the monies for it, so we want it here. All right, there ends my report, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Mayor. The next order of business is consideration for the adoption of the council rules.
So moved, Madam.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate a yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed?
I'm totally confused.
Oh, the rules, adopting the rules of council, so the rules,
Give a copy.
I'm not sure.
I emailed them out.
Oh, yeah, I did see it on my,
Want me to explain?
okay. I thought I.
so we'll ask for a brief explanation also for the benefit of the public.
Did we talk about this in the,
Yes.
was I out talking to?
No.
No?
Okay. Can you give us a brief description?
I have to find another copy.
Here you go.
I only reviewed it today, but I did get a chance. I'm not sure how long it was in my email bin. I didn't see the date, but I did review it today. But I was able to review it, even though I don't have an official, but it looked okay to me.
So, the rules of council are a resolution, which will be 2020-1. They established the rules for how council meetings will be done. It says that the meetings will be held at 7 p.m. on the third Thursday. It establishes the committee reports. It establishes what can be discussed in executive session. Discusses how members of council have to abide by the Robert's Rules of Order. It notes that public comment is limited to 3 minutes, and a person must sign in. It establishes the standing committees of council, establishes a caucus meeting, and also states that the paper agendas will be available at the start of the meeting, and minutes are available after the meeting once council approves them. There's also a multiple-page description on what each committee of council is responsible for. And the rules will be on the website and publicly available.
Okay.
The only thing that's missing is I'll ask for a motion to amend to allow for members of council to participate by telephone. You have to do it every time a new council starts, and that is not in here, but we've done it. There's an ordinance, but you have to reaffirm that you want to be able to use telephonic communications for a member of council to sit or travel. So I'll ask for an oral motion to amend the rules to allow for that.
You mentioned something about signing in.
Signing in for public comment. We've been doing that here, I think, for years. People fill out a form.
Oh, I thought you were talking about canceling it.
No, public comment.
So on the amendment,
So moved.
and then move to properly seconded. Is there any additional discussions?
Yes, so just for clarification, the current amendment is that we do allow it?
Yes. We already have an ordinance that allows for it, but it has to be reauthorized to start every new council.
And that constitutes as presence in the meeting, right?
It's a a complicated question, but in theory, yes, you can vote, but it cannot be used to establish a quorum.
Any more discussion? All in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed? The motion carries. The next order of business, now that the rules of council have been established, is the committee appointments. For the Personnel Committee, I appoint Councilor Ron Francis. For the Community Relations Committee, I appoint Councilor Talia Jones-Waters. Your question was, do we have to accept? And now I'm going to allow Solicitor Gibbs to answer the question.
Borough Council committees are historically created by and serve at the pleasure of the Borough Council President. They have no authority to take official action, so someone doesn't have to accept it. It's just an appointment.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Past practices, the council president will ask the council member, would they like to accept this committee? And give that counselor the opportunity to say, yes, I will accept, or no, I do not accept. So that's all I was trying to, explain. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so these are appointments. I'll continue with the appointments. And just to clarify, I am appointing Councilor Ron Francis as chair of the Personnel Committee, and I'll serve as his vice chair in his absence. I will be chair of the Community Relations Committee, and I will ask Councilor Talia Jones-Waters to vice chair in my absence. I will ask Mayor Rowan Hopkins to chair the Public Safety Committee, along with Councilor Dr. Dolores McKee. They're co-chairs. I will ask Councilor Rafi Cade to chair the Finance Committee, and I'll act as vice chair in his absence. I will ask Councilor Clara Johnson to chair the Public Works Committee. Thank you. And I will ask Councilor Leona Rockout to chair the Code Committee. Lastly, I will ask Councilor Ron Francis to chair the Recreation Committee. Okay. Thank you very much.
I also accept, sorry.
Rule 2 states, when members are about to speak and debate or to communicate any matter to the council, they should respectfully address themselves to the president, confining their remarks to the subject before the council and avoiding personal references to any other member of the council.
So, Council President, I requested an answer from you. If you could repeat what you just mentioned about appointing the committee chairperson.
Sure. I'll go over the appointments again. But for future reference, you have to be acknowledged after you ask for it. All right. So then there should be a pause, so I can acknowledge your presence on the floor, and that you have the ability to speak at this time. But absolutely, I'll go over the appointments one more time.
Thank you.
The Personnel Committee, I'm going to ask Councilor Ron Francis to co-chair with myself. For the Community Relations Committee, I'll chair the Community Relations Committee, and I'm asking Councilor Talia Jones-Waters to vice chair of my absence. For the Public Safety Committee, I'm asking Mayor Rowan Hopkins and Councilor Reverend Dr. McKay to co-chair the committee. For the Finance Committee, I'm asking Councilor Rafi Cade to chair the committee, and I'll serve as vice chair in his absence. For the Public Works Committee, I'll ask Councilor Clara Johnson to chair the committee. For the Code Committee, I'm going to ask Councilor Leona Rockout to chair the committee. For the Recreation Department, I will ask Councilor Ron Francis to chair the committee. Our next order of business is consideration for appointments to the zoning board. Is there a motion?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
So our next order of business is consideration of appointments to the zoning board. And is there a motion? Are we going one at a time for now?
It's an appointment, yes.
Okay.
So we would take all the nominations and vote on them in the order they were received.
Okay, so for now, we did receive 2 additional nominations, but we only received them today and haven't had a chance to properly reviewed them. So the one that we have reviewed, so I'd like to consider Lauren Johnson as an appointment to the zoning board. I'm asking for.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
So having been moved and properly seconded, just for clarification, to appoint Lauren Johnson to the zoning board. Yes, for the unexpired term of Leona Brookside.
Madam President, I have a question. If I might, how many total vacancies for clarification are there?
How many vacancies do we have for the zoning board?
I know for a fact that we have one currently. There was a resignation that Councilor Rothfeld made and was submitted to the Secretary of the Zoning Hearing Board. That's the vacancy I know we're trying to fill today. I believe that there is another person who doesn't participate much. And as we go through the next month, we're going to try to have all boards and commissions of the borough reorganize themselves so we can have a total stock.
So we received a few applications today, and honestly, I haven't had a chance to go through them. I don't know if anybody has. Can I request that we table this until we had a proper chance to go through the
You have to
application?
make a motion. You can make a motion to table and miss the motion.
So this motion isn't for consideration of those additional applicants. They're still for, I'm just providing further clarification that it's not for those two appointments that, well, those who submitted a request today. This is for the vacancy that's currently left by Councilor Rowe. So are you putting a motion to table?
Well, isn't there a motion on the floor?
Yeah, motion to table.
I have a question.
One second.
But there's a motion to table.
So I do have a motion. I'll keep my motion to table.
Is there a second on the motion to table? All in favor to table the nomination for today, or the appointments for today? The motion carries. All right, we will move on to our manager's report.
Just give me 1 second. That was 4 tabling the motion, correct?
Yes.
Give me 1 second. Well, let me just say, that was Johnson, Cave, Francis, and Rothfeld, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First, I'll go over items handled since the last meeting. The calendar went out in the mail on January 10th. Everybody should have it. If you haven't, we do have some extras. Please let us know because we have to look into any issues we're having with the delivery from the post office. You don't have one? Okay.
I haven't received one either.
Okay. And anybody else, you can see me after. Or Mrs. Stevens that's in the front row there in the lumber jacket. For the calendar, we received $5,500. We're looking to receive an additional $2,750, which we should have shortly, for a total of $8,250. The total cost of the calendar was $8,932.96. The sound system has been set up in the hall on the second floor. Management recommends increasing the rental fee by $50 to cover the costs and expenses associated with this addition. The newly elected officials, as we all know, were sworn in on January 6th by the Honorable W. Keith Williams II, and there was a social reception afterwards. Items currently in progress are spring newsletter submissions, which are due January 27th. Management had their monthly meeting with NDI on the 3rd. As usual, we discussed the current and pending projects, and I'll let Mr. Sapolo go over where we're at with everything. We also have a meeting tomorrow with NDI and our department heads. The borough will be posting for several vacancies within the next few weeks. Please look on the website and cable channel for more details. Items to be addressed, the filling of the vacancies that we will be posting. Please be advised that the borough is always accepting resumes, applications, letters of interest, etc. for the communities, boards, commissions, and employment positions within the borough. We recently posted a lot of the committees, boards, and commissions, just a few brief details about those different boards, commissions, and committees. So if you're interested or just are curious, look on the website and the information is there. The borough received grant applications for 2020 grants from Men of Action, Brothers of Faith for $500, RAW or RAW, I'm not sure how that foundation says its name, but RAW Foundation Inc. for $7,205, Senior Center Services for $7,500, and Yeadon Education Athletic Association for $10,000. Management recommends providing grants to Men of Action, Brothers of Faith, Senior Center Services, and Yeadon Education Athletic Association. And the last update is that as far as the bicycle lanes that we were previously discussing in connection with Lansdowne, it turns out that the area of roadway that they were looking to do those bicycle lanes on is too narrow, so they're looking to do sharrows instead. So I just need to know if council's interested in proceeding with that, and if so, I will look into that more, provide more information, and see if that's actually something we should pursue. And that completes my report.
Thank you. There's also a motion under your report that it's to the consideration of increasing the borough hall rental fee by $50.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Hearing none.
Yeah, one.
Question. I believe that raising it $50 more is, the fee is already expensive, so by raising it $50 more, I disagree.
So that would be your vote. Is there a question?
That's my statement.
Okay, thank you for your statement.
You know.
All in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed? The motion carries. Move on to our solicitor's report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We have currently joining with the school district to appeal certain tax tax assessments that we believe adversely affect the borough. We have filed 7 so far, and we are reviewing assessments. And if there's a determination made that the assessment is far from what we believe the value is, the school district and the borough are filing appeals. That concludes my report. Everything else, council met in executive session this evening to discuss litigation and personnel matters. Okay. I'd also ask for authorization to retain the services of a conflict engineer as it relates to litigation that the borough is currently engaged in.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed? The motion carries. Our tax collector is absent. Mr. Nicholas issued a report. Oh, I'm sorry, does that complete the report?
Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Our tax collector is absent. Mr. Nicholas is there.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, council members of the public. For the month of December, real estate taxes collected $60,516.78. Sewer fees collected $23,204.64. And trash fees collected $15,592.50 for a total collection of $99,313.92. There is the tax collector.
Thank you. We'll ask our engineer to come up for our engineer's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to go through at this time a list of my recommended motions. The first one is a recommended motion to authorize the borough engineer to re-advertise for bids for the stucco installation at 510 Orchard Avenue. This is in regards to the fact that we received no bids in December. Okay. I would also like a recommendation for a motion to extend the current ordinary sewer maintenance contract for A. Garjul and Sons from January 29, 2020 to April 29, 2020, an additional 3 months in accordance with the contract's provisions for same. I would like to...
Okay, so let's take care of them one at a time then.
Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking you were going to do.
Yeah, I just saw that they were, you went out of order from what we have, so
I'm sorry.
I wasn't sure. All right, so initially, what was your first consideration?
First one was recommend a motion to authorize the borough engineer to re-advertise for bids for the stucco installation at 510 Orchard Avenue.
Okay, so councilors, that's letter E on your report. Is there a consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question?
That was moved, Council President. So moved.
I have a question. Do we know what the stucco project cost initially?
I don't know that at this time.
I would ask that the motion be made to allow, if permissible, for the engineer to accept telephonic bids if the number is not over the threshold.
Again, I'm new to the firm, but I believe that we tried to solicit bids before where we got nowhere with getting.
I just want to have the authority be broader than just a bid.
Right.
So we can solicit and/or accept bids. And I ask the motion be made. I'd ask someone to.
Can we amend the motion to allow the engineer to accept bids under the threshold of $19,100?
$20,800 now.
$20,800 via telephone.
So moved.
Second.
It's been amended. Are there any additional questions?
Can you explain what the advantage is?
So purchases and contracts between $11,300 and $21,000 just require telephonic or written quote, whereas anything over $21,000 requires formal bidding. It's much easier to procure. If we are at the number of $21,000, then it makes no sense to go through the formal bidding process because we also have a constituent that is waiting for this.
But do we need a motion to do that if we're already okay to accept it telephonically under 21,000?
We're not okay. The engineer can't just accept it without the council's authority to do so.
Okay, cool.
So all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Solicitor,
I'll send an email to you laying out the language of that.
okay, do we have a certain minimum amount of bidders that we have to do to qualify for this? Three.
The next motion that you mentioned, Councilor, is letter A under the engineer's report.
So moved.
It was F.
Second.
It was letter F, but I
Letter
see in
F,
motion
okay.
A, you're really.
So let's go with the consideration to extend the current ordinary sewer maintenance contract for A. Garjul and Sons from January 29, 2020 to April 29, 2020, an additional 3 months in accordance with the contract provisions were the same.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question,
So just to clarify, the agenda says made.
so this is now F, not A. We went from E to F. I thought we were on it.
I got you. All right. So,
All in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed?
I would like to abstain.
Okay. One abstention, the motion carries. The next one.
Okay, this will be letter B.
Oh, wait, we just did F. Are you skipping over A?
Well, that was for consideration or.
Let's do A. Let's start back in order now.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Consideration of a motion to pass resolution number 2020-001, extending the current PA ordinary sewer maintenance contract with A. Garjul and Sons that expires February 8, 2020 for an additional 3 months to May 8, 2020 per the current ordinary sewer and maintenance contract provisions.
so moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed?
I abstain.
The motion carries.
Okay. Item B, request a motion to consider rejecting the bid received from Alpha Omega for the Borough Hall roof repairs.
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved and properly seconded on the question.
Is there a reason why we're,
Let me see.
Well,
what's the reason?
the price was considerably higher than the estimate for repairs. that
How
we
many bids
received.
did you receive?
Just one.
Did you say one?
Just one. Just them. Alpha Omega was the only bidder.
The determination by the borough engineer was that this was not a responsible low bid.
All in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, a recommendation for consideration to authorize the borough engineer to prepare and advertise for the Borough Hall roof replacement.
So moved. Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, recommendation for consideration of authorizing the borough engineer to prepare and re-advertise for bids for the replacement of the library heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, I'm sorry. Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you. All right, I'll skip to item G. Recommendation for consideration to authorize the borough engineer to prepare and advertise for bids for the fiscal year 2019 CDBG project, which is the replacement of the sanitary sewer on West Providence Road, and also includes the resurfacing of the same roadway between Lansdowne Avenue and Darby Creek.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you. That concludes my report, Madam President. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to take them at this time.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I have one more. I got some questions regarding the Bailey and Church Lane that we'd spoken about redoing the traffic signals and stuff. And I know you've been looking into it, so if you could maybe give council and the public a general idea of what we've done so far.
Well, we looked at it, but we have to get council's recommendation to request to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation to look into that. It's not something we can do. We need council's recommendation and a letter from council to the Department of Transportation, formally requesting that.
Madam President, I ask for council to make a motion authorizing the borough manager to, in conjunction with the engineer, to draft a letter to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation in reference to the intersection at
Church and Bailey.
Church and Bailey.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Do you have a stormwater tip for us?
Excuse me?
Stormwater tip?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Stormwater tip. Recycle used motor oil. Find out if your local community, gas stations, or businesses that sell motor oil and provide oil changing services will accept used motor oil and take it there. Whatever you do, never dump motor oil, gasoline, radiator fluid, automotive solvents and similar types of materials down Storm Drain. And that concludes my engineer's report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam President, I note that the agenda has committees making reports. Given that committees were organized this evening, there could be no committee reports. There's a correction to the agenda as relates to that.
Thank you. The correction is noted. We will ask Councilman Cade to take us through consideration of A through E.
Good evening, everyone. Madam President, I am asking for a motion for the consideration of the account payable list, please.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Madam President, I'm asking for consideration for the approval of the cash balance report.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Madam President, I'm asking for a motion for the consideration of approving resolution 2020-005 related to the sale of 2019 delinquent real estate taxes.
Real estate taxes.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Mr. King, please give a brief explanation to the public what this means for us.
I'll defer to the Finance Director.
So since 2010, Yeadon has sold their delinquent property taxes instead of turning it over to Delaware County. If you turn over to Delaware County, the money kind of comes in slowly. Whereas this company that the borough has dealt with since 2010, you get a lump sum of money up front, and then they get the money from the county as delinquent taxpayers pay them. Last year, we budgeted close to $290,000 that we anticipated receiving, and they actually did better. We received an additional $150,000+. This year, we budgeted $300,000, and of course, until the resolution is passed, we won't know what the dollar amount will actually be, but based off of our estimations of what was turned over, it will be in the neighborhood of $300,000 at minimum.
And which company are we using to,
Municipal Revenue Services,
is that different from who we previously used?
it is not.
So, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Madam President, I'm asking for a motion for the consideration of a grant application for Yeadon Education Athletic Association in the amount of $10,000.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Madam President, I'm asking for a motion for the consideration of a grant application for Senior Care Services, SCS, in the amount of $7,500.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved twice and properly seconded. On the question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Madam President, I am seeking a motion for the consideration of a grant application for RAW Foundation, Inc. in the amount of $7,205.
Can somebody, that's what, well, once the motion is on.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Madam President. Could you explain that one? The
RAW Foundation.
Foundation.
The grant application came directly to the management team.
Say that again?
The grant application came directly to the management team.
Oh,
So, I mean, is there a specific question?
what do they do?
What do they do?
They provide youth programming for young people in the Yeadon and neighboring communities. Management is recommending that we aren't recommending the council grant this particular application because of the financial reporting that came in. The borough pretty much will be funding the entire organization, whereas with the other organizations, the financial shows that the borough would supplement the programming for borough residents.
So all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed? I'm sorry, Councilor Johnson, did you have another question?
Yeah, because I'm a little confused with what you said. Borough would be funding the full.
Essentially, the budget that was submitted with this grant application, their budget was $7,205, so the borough would fund the organization. The entire operating budget would come from this council.
So that motion failed.
Madam President, lastly, I'm asking for a motion to consider the grant for Men of Faith Brothers of Action in the amount of $500.
So moved.
Second.
We're just double checking the official name of the organization. It might be transposed.
Men of Action, Brothers of Faith.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find an application, make sure they didn't change their
Yeah,
name.
Men of Action, that sounds right. Men of Action, Brothers of Faith, I believe. Not Men of Faith Brothers.
So we would ask for a motion, to correct the motion to make it Men of Action, Brother of Faith Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded for consideration of the grant application for Men of Action, Brothers of Faith Incorporated. Brothers of Faith. The donation request amount of $500. Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Is there your question? We're on question. Councilor Johnson, did you have a question? Okay.
That's Michael.
All right, all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
And lastly, I would like to establish the first Finance Committee meeting for 2020. Do we need a motion for that? No. Okay.
So we would just submit our committee meeting dates to the borough management. We can have those published on our website and in other forms.
Just for the public, it's Thursday, February 6th at 7 p.m.
6.
Previously, we had these meetings during the day due to my change in schedule, and I think requests from the public, we were switching to the evening.
Thank you for being so accommodating.
Thank you. Thursday, February 6th. 7 p.m.
All right. We will move on to our police department report under public safety.
Chief.
Good evening. I'm going for a motion from council to approve stop signs that were recently installed. So currently right now I had stop signs installed at West Cobbs and Longacre and Rockland and Longacre as a matter of public safety, as well as Myra and Holly because of public safety issues in that area with speeding and so forth. Currently, officers, when they stop anybody violating those signs, they're given warnings. They have been productive, so I'm asking for a motion to approve them so they will stay in place.
So moved.
Second.
Have you been moved and properly seconded on the question? Just for clarification, can you list all of the locations that you're asking to be permanent? You said Myra, Holly.
Myra and Holly, West Cobbs and Longacre, and Rockland and Longacre. And all of those intersections are now basically four-way stop signs.
I would ask for a move, I'd ask to amend the motion to allow for the advertising of an ordinance for the stop signs at the locations the chief says. It has to be done by ordinance, it can't be done by resolution. So we have to advertise, have a public hearing, and actually do an ordinance amendment. So this will be voted on next month.
Okay. In the meantime, again, they're in place. My personal opinion is a matter of public safety and speeding. Myron Holly is an example of that. Honestly, I don't know how that has not had numerous accidents prior to me even getting here, to be honest with you. My officers, like I said, when they stop individuals, they're giving warnings. We're not enforcing them because they're not lawful.
Chief, we're in the middle of a motion.
I'm sorry.
Is there a motion?
They're long-winded like that.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Having been moved and properly seconded for us to advertise an ordinance for the 3 stop sign locations. On the question?
I have a question. Could you just repeat that last location?
Rockland and Longacre.
That's it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Just for clarification, are the ordinances address specific?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. The parking regulations, traffic control devices are all in the ordinance for a particular area.
So it's like, don't run the stop sign at Longacre?
It says the stop signs are authorized for intersections of particular places. Chief, do you know if you've had an engineer or traffic study done?
I believe there have been some done in the past, at least according to information that I have. And again, my professional opinion is that location is a safety hazard without some kind of devices in place.
I'd ask for a motion to authorize. Oh. Thank you. Go ahead.
Do we do the other case? Or we amend it?
No, you can finish this one.
Okay, so all in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Ask for a motion authorizing a traffic and or engineering study for the 4 intersections that the chief has mentioned. 3 intersections.
So moved.
Second. Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question?
I was going to ask if we could amend that to Chester Avenue and Cops Creek where you have that triangle down there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's
Yeah,
been
for
a
another traffic
really
study, yeah.
major problem for a number of years because there's only one yield sign and it's very confusing. There's a lot of accidents there.
So I believe this specific traffic study is to support
The
the
stop
ordinance
signs.
with the stop signs.
Okay.
So would that one have to be done separately?
Not necessarily, but I would want to limit it. I want to be able to back up the ordinance with the traffic study.
So we'll do that separately?
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, the motion carries. And can we have the motion for consideration of the name
I would ask for a motion to authorize a traffic study at the intersection of
Chester and Wisconsin.
Chester and Wisconsin.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, on the question? Do we know the cost of a traffic study?
I do not.
I was just thinking if Eileen were here, she'd be cautioning us about it. Because it is costly.
I mean, in order to do a record, so right now, I hear that people go out every morning and put up a stop sign and take it down, and it's not permanent. In order to have a permanent stop sign, you have to have a traffic study according to the manual on uniform traffic control devices for streets and highways.
So I'm in agreement with the ones for the stop sign. I'm just concerned about the additional cost of a traffic study for the 4th location that we. Well, you know what? The chief has a lot of money, so.
You got one.
He can help us with
Chief
that.
can do a- chief can
And let
do
me
a
add,
traffic
not
assessment.
to try, well,
The chief can do a traffic assessment.
I can definitely do it. I mean,
So in the event that you find
in
traffic-
fact, believe it or not, I've actually done a traffic accident study on that when I first got here because of some of the accidents that we were having at that location. And if I recall correctly, I want to say over like a 3-year period, there was something like 45 to 47 accidents at that location, that's high for an intersection in 3 years.
Okay.
yeah, that's a major major problem.
It's very confusing.
Harping on that for the last 20 years, and I don't know why we have.
For the second and third, my second and third meeting, I brought that up over and over.
And you brought that up.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't do anything.
All right. So, all in favor, regardless of the vote, please indicate a yes vote by raising your hand. The vote is unanimous, motion carries.
The other thing I'd like to bring up is a parking ticket amnesty program. Basically, I had a review done of the last 3 years for parking in the borough. And while I don't want the police department to be a revenue-producing entity, because I know parking tickets are not the greatest thing for everybody, but they are issued for purposes of, fire zone violations, handicap violations, abandoned vehicles, and so forth. As a result, there's roughly $230,000 in outstanding tickets just over a 3-year period. The problem with tickets is once a ticket gets issued, let's say you get issued a $10 ticket for parking on the side of the street where it says don't park on Monday, Tuesday, or whatever. If you don't pay it, after a certain period of time, that ticket goes to the court. It then turns into a traffic citation. The traffic citation now takes a $10 ticket and turns it into a $59 fine. They then send you a notice for that. When you fail to appear for that, then they wind up sending you another notice, and then it keeps going until they eventually it turns into a warrant, believe it or not. And then what happens is you have a constable who knocks on your door, and now he wants to ticket money as well as his fees, or else he takes you in front of a judge. Or if you respond to a citation once it comes from the court, and you go to the court, a lot of times the judge will say, okay, go to the police department, take care of the initial fine, and we'll reduce all the costs and everything. The problem for the person involved is you lose a day at work because you got to go to court, and when I tell you you sit at court, you're going to sit at court for hours. So basically you're losing a day of work. What I want to do is I want to put out an amnesty program for a 1-month period where you would be able to come into the police department, you would be able to settle all your tickets for their face value. So if you have tickets that have gone to citation, for example, and let's say you have 10 tickets that now would cost you $500, but their face value is $50, you only pay the $50 for what the borough owes. You're not paying the state of Pennsylvania, the court costs, and everything else. I have reached out to the court, the district court. The district court is willing to accept that. The only issues that residents may, and again, and it's not all residents, we do get a lot of tickets from outside people parking their cars and their abandoned cars and so forth in the borough. If it's in a citation warrant phase, there are fees, and when I say fees, there may be like a $10 fee or $15 fee that's associated with it that the court can't waive because that's in the hands of the constable. So once you come into us and we give you a signed sheet of paper saying that all your tickets have been taken care of. If you have anything outstanding with the court, you have to take that paper to the court, and then the court will tell you, okay, you owe $15 for the outstanding fines or whatever that's related to the constables type stuff. But we feel we'll save people money. We'll also bring money into the borough that I can use for the police department usage and stuff like that, and alleviate the backlog that I've been talking about since I got here in 2018. So I'm putting that all together, and I'm asking for approval for the borough to look into ways to take in potentially like credit card acceptance and stuff like that.
Not credit card debt.
Or whatever the borough says is feasible for me to be able to do that.
Be a motion to authorize a ticket amnesty program starting on February 1st.
I'm looking to run it for a month. So, and I would say let the date be predicated on what the borough says. The borough finance director, the borough manager tells me will work for them as far as like taking in any additional funds and so forth.
So it would be a motion to authorize
A 30-day amnesty period.
30-day amnesty period for parking ticket violations in the borough of Yeadon.
Question?
Yes.
Second.
Madam Secretary, I'll send you a resolution, so this would be resolution number 004, ma'am? 005? 4.
Wait, was there a
There's
resolution
six
already?
in
That
there.
was already coming?
There's 6 now. One in there was only 6.
This will be the next resolution number.
I believe it's 4.
She got it.
Okay, so it's the next resolution number. Is there a motion?
We made,
All right, on the question. Mayor Hayes.
Yeah, I have a question. My only concern is that, 1 month may be too short. February is a short month anyway, but I'm wondering if it wouldn't be better to do 60 days, because there's a lot of back and forth and mail and all that. By the time you already lose 10 business days, back and forth notification. I think 1 month is too ambitious, and I would rather, I think it would be better for the residents and the police department if it's more realistic. I think 60 days is, for something like that, is more saleable than just a month of February. Which, yeah.
Madam President, I make a motion that we amend the previous motion to change from 30 days to 60 days.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and properly seconded. Any additional questions?
Mayor?
So you said these parking tickets, well, the tickets would include like parking tickets if you can move the car from one side to the other. So I'm just a little concerned with respect to what about if some individuals never received the ticket for whatever reason, specifically parking?
Well, let me put it this way. If you didn't receive, and again, that stuff happens.
Right.
If somebody didn't get a ticket, they would most likely, all right, get a certified letter from the court telling them, okay, hey, you were issued a ticket on such and such date. Because normally what happens, what they do first is they'll send you a notice and they'll say, okay, you received a ticket on October 1st and you failed to pay. The ticket is blank, $10 they'll say. And then you have to, they'll usually give you, and it varies anywhere between 10 and 30 days to pay that initial fine. All right. And then if you don't respond to that, then they send you another one. So normally there's a paper trail at the court that will show whether or not they sent anything to anybody. But normally, I'll tell you that if somebody comes up to the police station and they tell me that, I was in the hospital, and they show me the documentation they were in the hospital, or they come up to me and they say, we didn't get it, and I just got this notice in the mail. I'll usually do a little bit of research, because sometimes people are coming in and they're making it up in an effort to get it right. But 9 times out of 10, they're telling me the truth, and I will take care of them with that so that they're not harmed on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not, my whole idea is not to harm anybody, but at the end of the day, there are numerous entities in the borough that have anywhere between 15 and 30 tickets, half of which are warrant. Now, normally when you get stopped by the police officer, believe it or not, that'll come up that you're wanted. All right, it'll come up as a hit for us. If you don't have an officer that is smart enough to read it properly and see that it's an APOC warrant, all right, which means basically it's coming from like the district court level, all right, that it's one of those things where we basically normally will tell you, hey, you got a warrant for a failure to appear for a parking ticket or a traffic ticket, because normally we're not taking you into custody for that. But if you're in some other jurisdictions, sometimes they will take you in. And, all right, and then you got to deal with all that until they contact the court. The court will then tell them, no, we don't want them. All right, you can release them, just tell them here's a court date and they got to appear. But you don't want to have to deal with that.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor, please indicate your yes vote by raising your hand. Any opposed? The motion carries.
And the only last thing I have for the police department, please spread the word to stop starting your cars in the morning and leave them running when you go in the house. We've lost 4 cars over the past week people going out and starting their cars up, and somebody's been jumping in the car and taking off with them. We've also had a rash of vehicle break-ins, all right? I'm working on that, so I hope to report back that we make an arrest in that shortly. But I'm asking you to, one of the things with my Mission Lock-It-Up program, not only take everything out of your car, but leave the center console open, leave the glove box open, so if somebody's looking in, because a lot of these guys, everybody's got a phone, and a flashlight. A lot of these guys are walking through the way, and they'll look in with their flashlight, and if they can see that the glove box is open, there's nothing in it, and the center console's open and there's nothing in it, they move to the next car. But every car that's getting broken into has something in plain view that they think is going to have something valuable in it. All right, and like last night we had one. It was a diaper bag. All right, that got strewn all over the place, but they took it because they thought it was like a purse. All right, but if that wasn't in plain view, they probably would not have broken the window out on that car and take it. So spread the word on that, because we're getting hit again, and we're taking care of it. Any questions? We good? Might be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so any old business? Any new business? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Recreation?
No.
No committees.
I know, but are we, no.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.